The traditional leadership and redeemer posture of Nigeria in Africa has been put into question in recent years. Issues like corruption and infrastructural decay have held the country down from playing a leadership role in Africa. A visionary leadership is lacking, while public institutions are weak, inept, and compromised. Decades of political patronage and nepotism have seen a corroded quality and performance in the public service. In addition, the intractable problem of Boko Haram and Islamic State, coupled with kidnappings, have created a security crisis. All continue to shatter the myth of military invincibility and the might of the Nigerian state. In the beginning, it was not so. From independence in 1960, Nigeria took upon itself the role of uniting Africa against Western recolonization. The continent from then on became the centerpiece of its foreign policy. The fact that nations were living under foreign rule made it possible to galvanize them around a common cause. This led to the creation of the Organization of African Unity, now the African Union, in 1963, and Economic Community of West African States in 1975. Nigeria assumed a leading role in these events as it forged a foreign policy with a strong Afrocentric posture. In fact, so frenetic was its involvement in this role that it sometimes paid little attention to the home front. Nigeria's leadership role on the continent was a product of the vision, dreams, and, sometimes, whims of the founding fathers. They were nevertheless premised on real national capacity. This defined the country's behavior and continental outlook and has continued to influence successive administrations. The sheer size of Nigeria's population, the largest on the continent, rising from 48.3 million in 1963 to over 200 million in 2020, gave the country the idea that Africa was its natural preoccupation. In addition, its colonial experience and the abundance of its oil resources and wealth have empowered Nigeria economically. This made it possible for the country to pursue an ambitious foreign policy. It also permitted Nigeria to finance its civil war, strengthening its international independence. And oil made possible an unparalleled post-war recovery. Nigeria has used its influence to good effect and to good ends. It went on to push for the prevention and resolution of the devastating conflict that engulfed Liberia in 1992. After that conflict spilled over into Sierra Leone and other countries in the region, Nigeria spearheaded the cessation of hostilities and created the Ceasefire Monitoring Group to bring a total end to the civil strife and restore democracy in both countries. Many observers agree that the sterling performance of the monitoring group is unparalleled in the history of regional organizations the world over. It has now become a model to emulate for its operational efficiency and for giving regional actors pride of place in the resolution of regional conflicts. Nigeria exerted similar efforts to ensure that democratic governments were restored to Guinea-Bissau, Côte d'Ivoire, and São Tomé and Príncipe after military takeovers in those countries. It spent over $10 billion in these peace campaigns and also lost soldiers in the process. Nigeria has not limited its peacekeeping role to West Africa. It has also been engaged in Burundi, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Zimbabwe, and Ethiopia. The country also played the most important role in fighting apartheid in Southern Africa and supporting liberation movements on the continent. But Nigeria has not been immune to challenges facing countries on the continent. Corruption, misappropriation of public funds, electoral malpractices, insurgency, and terrorism have devastated its capacity and weakened its moral fortitude to lead the continent. Amidst enormous wealth, poverty in Nigeria is endemic. It could even become the poverty capital of the world, according to the World Poverty Club. Nigerians have been reduced to the behest of the politicians that tie them to the gridlock of stomach infrastructure. This is a new trend which reflects institutionalized and structural poverty. Deprivation puts people in a vulnerable and compromised position where the desperation for survival makes them sell their votes and conscience. The slow movement of the current administration is also killing the Nigerian spirit and leadership posture. South Africa, Ghana, and even Madagascar have acted faster in continental and global politics, including during times of emergency, such as the current coronavirus pandemic. But Nigeria seems content with a spectator position. Nigeria has been relegated to the background of international affairs. To turn this around requires a revisit to the roots and mowing the lawns afterwards. Nigeria must take stock of its own performance and capacities and reposition itself, first from within. If Nigerian leaders are increasingly determined to proffer African solutions to their problems, then political structures and institutions must be reformed to reflect conditions suitable for sustainable development. Without a formidable political base, the economy will remain weak and fragile. Oil wealth has been the country's nemesis, a cause that has promoted corruption and blatant bleeding of the economy. But it is declining in value and as a source of national revenue. Now is the time for Nigeria to make good on its repeated and well-advertised intentions to diversify the economy. The emphasis on oil would open the door to smarter ideas about how to create wealth. It would also help in getting rid of a great deal of the phlegm of corruption, which has played such a central role in Nigeria's infrastructural decay. African leaders do not look towards Nigeria anymore for counsel, inspiration, and help. They think Nigeria has a lot on its plate already and needs help itself. The potential is still there for Nigeria to return to power, but it will take leadership to rebuild the auspicious atmosphere and to activate the country's potential, the two steps required to regain that enviable frontliner spot on the continent.